necessarily state or reflect the official views and position of Sunshine Radio DZR 1026 Manila, Suanusug Media Corporation, and Sunshine Media Network International.
Magandang gabi Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. Narito po akong muli, si Peter Serrano para sa 3 p.m. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, Pilipinas muna. At magandang gabi rin sa ating ginagalang na Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na ibinigay ninyo sa akin upang maging kabahagi ng paglalahad ng mahalagang katotohanan dito sa SMNI para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal. I've often thought that if planners were botanists, zoologists, geologists, and people who know about the earth, we would have much more wisdom in such planning than we have when we leave it to the engineers. William O. Douglas, Supreme Court Justice. Growth is inevitable and desirable, but destruction of community character is not. The question is not whether your part of the world is going to change. The question is how. Edward McMahon, lawyer, community planner, and author. A land full of places that are not worth caring about may soon be a nation and a way of life that is not worth defending. James Howard, Constler, A Geography of Nowhere, 1993. Tonight, mga ka-3 p.m., we have titled our episode, The Structures and Infrastructures of the Philippines. Mga ka-3 p.m., fact. Sa bilis ng takbo ng panahon, ganun din kabilis ang development ng ating mga kapitbahay dito sa rehiyon sa Asia. At this moment, ang gaganda ng mga plano, ng mga pangarap, ng mga pangako ng ating mga opisyales pagdating sa infrastructure, zonings, and planning for more comfortable and livable lives. Totoo naman, sa mga nakaraan na taon, maraming mga bagong gusali at daan, naglalakihang tulay ang naitayo. Progresibo, sabi nga. Pero kapalit nito ay nakalimutan ang green and long pockets, mga lilim at higit na kailangan ng mga lugar tulad ng NCR at mga bagong sibol na munisipalidad. Is progress really in our hands, or has politics and power struggle get in the way? Are we getting the progress we deserve, or will it take decades again to achieve after we have already begun implementing them? What's stopping us, and what will it take to achieve the elusive progress we so deserve? Our guest tonight is a Filipino architect and urban planner. He obtained his bachelor's degree in architecture from University of Santo Tomas in 1972, and in 1974, he obtained his master's degree in environmental planning at UP Diliman through a scholarship grant by United Nations Development Program. In 2003, he graduated in Advanced Management Development Program for Real Estate at the Harvard University, UP, and UST. 52 years as an architect, 50 years as urban planner. He is the founder of Principal Architect of Palafox Associates and Palafox Architecture. He has done projects in 40 countries, 1,800 projects, guest lecturer in 20 countries, was cited as one of the 48 heroes of philanthropy in Asia by Forbes magazine. Top 3 outstanding Filipinos by JCI, Senate. He led his firm Palafox to be the first top 500, top 300, top 200, and top 100 architects in the world by the World Architecture magazine of London, England. He received more than 200 international awards. Wow! Chairman, 49th Philippine Business Conference and Expo Vice President of Trade Affairs Director. Environmental and Climate Change Infrastructure and Construction Committee. He is the principal architect, urban planner, and founder of Palafox Associates. Mga ka-3 p.m., our very special guest for tonight, Architect Felino, Jun Palafox Jr. Magandang gabi, sir.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Peter. Thanks
Good
for
evening,
having
sir.
me here. Glad to be here.
And we are so happy that you made it tonight, sir. And we are so glad that the 3 p.m. family and SMNI is so happy that you said yes to our interview tonight. Kasi napakatagal po nito, sir. Nung live streaming pa lang kami, we have been trying to get you. But of course, we know you are very busy.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, sir. And thank you to the audience for the opportunity to share
Mga
tonight.
3 p.m. we have him now, si Architect Palafox. Sir, how is life after all what I have read about you and I have read about you from before? When do you rest, sir?
It's still, I cannot even, I'm 73 years old, but I'm still very active. Because everything we do, it's really developing opportunities for others, helping our country.
Yes,
Everything we do. For God, country, and planet Earth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, history lang ng kaunti because in the Duterte administration, you were so active in urban planning. But of course, pandemic happened. Sir, what has happened between those times that you have been planning everything that you have in your hands for the country and during and after the pandemic?
Yeah. Before the pandemic, we are also active all over the world in 40 countries. And during the pandemic, I got COVID 3 times.
Oh my.
So I realized, I think we can help our country more. So now I'm more focused on projects in the Philippines. And I'm fortunate that we were winning projects in the past administration and also this administration by competition. And the 49th Philippine Business Conference, I'm so glad that my colleagues in the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry chose me to chair the 49th Philippine Business Conference and Expo. I'm told it's been very successful. In the speeches, most ambassadors of huge, big countries, they were there, leaders of industry and government, and thought leaders. So, and that was October 25, 26. Very well participated. A lot of foreign investors were there also. And the theme that, thanks to my colleagues again at PCCI, they approved my proposal, Vision 2050, the Philippines a first world economy in the top 20 economies of the world. 2040, first world country. 2030, we hope we have addressed more effectively our challenges and the sustainable development countries. And our economists tell us before 2028, we should be the upper middle income country.
Upper middle income country.
But we start now. I'm also lucky that Asian Development Bank hired me to help in the preparation of the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. So we should start now. Don't wait for 2050.
Okay. So, sir, what are the biggest challenges the country are facing right now when it comes to infrastructure planning?
Yeah. One of them is because we were left behind. Did you know that from the 1930s to the 1970s, we're second to Japan.
Yeah,
Number 2 in
history told
Asia.
us that, sir.
So we could still be that. And if I may cite also, which I shared in the Philippine Business Conference, if we do a SWOT analysis of our country, strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges, not threats, we have more strengths and opportunities and less weaknesses and challenges. If I may enumerate them,
Yes, please, sir.
you know, if you rotate the map of the world, the Philippines is in the center. It's no wonder we're there more than 300 years. We're the Asia-Pacific hub of Spanish Europe. 50 years with the Americans, the Japanese 4 years, the British 2 years. So it's already given because of our strategic location. Superpower countries will always be interested in our beautiful islands.
Yeah,
That's
and
one.
up to now it's still happening,
It's still
sir.
happening.
You
And
see
then-
where we have a lot of EDCA sites.
Yeah, and we're number one in the world in marine biodiversity. We're number one. We're now number one in sailors, seamen. We're now number one in call centers. I like to believe we're also number one in nurses. I think we're number two in geothermal energy, number two now in BPOs. We have the third or fifth longest coastline, longer than that of the USA, mainland USA. In some countries, they go to war because they don't have a waterfront, like Iraq invading Kuwait, maybe even Russia invading Ukraine. They might want to have more waterfront. We're number 4 in the world in gold reserves. We are number 4 now in shipbuilding, thanks to the Japanese and the Koreans. We are number 5 in all other mineral resources. Anecdotal research tell us it's worth more than $3 trillion US dollars. So we should really be a first world country. We have a demographic soft spot. Our average age is 26. The rest of the world is aging and aged.
Yeah.
I think we are number
especially
12.
Japan, sir.
Yeah, Japan, US, even Singapore,
Yeah.
and Europe. And we are number 12 or number 13 in human resources.
Yes.
And the Filipino expatriates, I don't want to call them OFWs, are the preferred employees of employers all over the world. And our country is 400 times the size of Singapore, 350 times the size of Hong Kong, 8 times Taiwan, 3 times South Korea. So we really be first world.
Yeah,
If we only
we could have been.
Yeah, we can still be.
We can still be. But right now, where are we doing it wrong, sir?
Yeah, I think with all those advantages of our country, benefits, I've been to 72 countries, 7 territories.
Yes,
As
sir.
I said,
And
projects
you
in
have like 1,800 projects
in,
abroad.
in 40 countries. We've done that. And to me, our country is the most blessed. We only have a few challenges which we can overcome as long as we have visionary leadership, strong political will, good appreciation of good planning like urban planning, environmental planning, economic planning, good appreciation of good design like architecture, engineering, and excellent management. Those are the qualities of leaders in Dubai, Singapore, Scandinavian countries. It should not just be the president, starting with the barangay captains, the mayors, the governors, and our leaders. We should have that as ingredient of success for successful cities and countries.
Yes, sir. We always say that we are one of the most resourceful countries. Our people are the most resourceful people in the world. But where are we going wrong, sir? Because right now we always say that we need to. For decades now, since time immemorial that I can remember, we always say that we can, but it's already
Yes, sir.
2023 and we're still here.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong, sir?
Lack of institutional memory and continuity of like many projects that would have addressed flooding Odoy. We proposed it 1974. 10 years ago, Yolanda. Many of our recommendations are not yet implemented. And I work with the Chuchi Buddhist organization to help in rehabilitating disaster areas, not just in the Philippines, but elsewhere in the world. And I've worked with them. And until now, Chuchi is in Palo. We designed permanent homes for the survivors. So Chuchi, past 10 years, these are Buddhists, they're still there in Palo. So there's sustainability. And if I may cite the 6 challenges, if
Yes,
I may.
please, sir. What are these
Number
6
1, aside from the lack of corruption towards good governance, criminality towards better law enforcement, peace and order. We have to address climate change,
Yes.
sea level rise, and all of that, and not just protection of the environment, but enhancement of the environment. Inequality, poverty, inequality, infrastructure, we lack them, and investments. My 4 years as director of PCCI and 2 years as vice president of trade missions, we're meeting investors. But when they start applying for invest here, they get red tape, corruption, and unpredictable policies or approvals already given, we withdraw them. So even the U.S. Chamber...
Like what happened recently, sir, we withdrew our deal with China. Do you agree with that decision?
I think we should look at the impact. And people first, our integral ecology at Palafox, when we accept projects or stay away from projects, social equity, people first. Poverty elevation and job creation. That should be first, people first. Then we can talk about planet Earth and environment. Then we can talk about profit, economic goals, without forgetting culture, history, and heritage, and interfaith spirituality. That should be the guiding principle. Balance. It's not just one sector. So if you cancel contracts that will be approved, they will go to Vietnam, investors.
And China met with Vietnam right now in Beijing. They just did meet. And I wonder what the talk was about.
Yeah. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Philippine Chamber of Commerce Industry, we are collaborating with them. And also the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, based in Washington, D.C., they try to convince companies leaving China to go to the Philippines. Instead, the American companies, they're going to Vietnam. They say it's more predictable policies. And we see permits given, approvals given, then we withdraw.
So America is going to Vietnam.
American companies.
American companies. But the U.S. administration right now is stopping us from having contracts with China. So where are we going now when it comes to investments?
Very interesting because in the Philippine Business Conference, we had a speaker, resource speaker, the ambassador of U.S., the ambassador of China, ambassador of Japan, ambassador of India, ambassador of Canada, and then also there, even the Russian ambassador was there. We were in one table.
Was it peaceful?
Yeah, peaceful and very positive. Talk about investment. People to people, it's okay. I think maybe it's the government to government that is very challenging. So for me, it should be guiding principles. People first.
People first.
So when you cancel a contract, how many jobs will be closed?
Exactly.
So we should also think of that. There should be ways of addressing that. And also, which I noticed, I'm glad that I was part of the Philippine Development Planning. In Dubai, when I was named hired to help plan the Desert Dam of Dubai, bring it into the first world in 15 years, the ruler of Dubai would tell us the best in the world and how many years Dubai would surpass them.
Okay.
And then they find ways how to implement. They borrow money a lot, but they have a good plan and political will, visionary leadership. Here, I think our planning here is like baby steps, better than last year. Others like Dubai, Singapore, the best in the world, how many years they will surpass.
Yeah.
We can still do it. Maybe with the...
They borrow a lot of money, sir, you said.
Yeah.
Now, it is an issue that some people in Congress, especially the leftist representatives, are saying that we keep on borrowing money, binabaon natin ang sarili natin sa utang.
Yeah.
But then now you said that Singapore and Dubai
as long you know
money.
where it goes. At least, because anecdotally tells me because I'm also director for construction infrastructure at PCI. Contractors tell me 30 to 40% of infrastructure goes to corruption.
Oh my.
I don't mind if we borrow a lot as long as it doesn't go to corruption.
Yeah.
And I've written an article, Corruption Kills. Let's say a contractor has to bribe 30-40%. Where will they reduce the specifications? So I said with magnitude 7.2 in Metro Manila, buildings, bridges, infrastructure that involve corruption, for God forbidding, they will all collapse. In 2004 study by JICA, with the 7.2 earthquake, 2004 population, 50,000 people will get killed. Several bridges will collapse. Several buildings will collapse. And since 2004 Metro Manila population. That's why when I get invited by the Senate about building code, I tell them, our building code is obsolete. It's not enough. Plus corruption. Look what happened to Syria and Turkey.
Yeah.
Because the newer building collapsed because of corruption.
Let's get deeper into this corruption issue, Sir, because this is blatantly happening right now in our country, I believe. And I read and I see. I mean, the citizens naman are not blind on what is happening right now when it comes to corruption. That let's face it, that the former President Duterte has addressed na talagang nilaban ni President Duterte ang issue sa corruption. Ngayon, sir, sa nakikita ninyo na nangyari sa ating gobyerno, it's as if we are back from like 2 decades ago or about a decade ago, that we are somehow back to where we were. Why is that happening, sir? What do you think?
Sir, it's businessmen, developers, contractors. Because of my position as director for construction infrastructure, they come to me. But there's a lack now for the corrupt, no more factor of fear.
Normal factor of fear.
Factor of fear na wala na. Which we have with Duterte, may factor of fear for the corrupt. There's also a factor of fear for those victims of corruption and red tape. They are afraid of the mayors, building officials, and so on, to report. But I must say, 10% of our mayors, governors are very good. I must say, 10%. The 90% can be better, so they need our help.
So 10% is good, but 90% can be better. Sir, ito lang there are some where you get the business permits in some local government units. Pinapad nila, sir.
Yes, sir.
Umaabot sa 800 to 900,000 ang hinihingi nila sa mga business owners like contractors. How is this even happening, sir?
Yes, sir. Like the Management Association of which I was past president and committee chair for urban development, there's now a crusade for 10-minute business permits. That's headed by Tony Lopez of Business Asia. He's challenging now government, issue business permit in 10 minutes. You know, in Dubai, most of the permits are through the internet. No face-to-face.
Really?
Yeah, through the internet, except marriage license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get a land transaction registration in less than 30 minutes. And it reduces prevents corruption. There's no more face-to-face. Before when there were no CCTV cameras, because I was in Dubai, those dealing with permits, no drawers.
Oh.
So no drawers to push your kickback money to the drawers.
Sir, let me just interrupt you there, Kasi po...
Very simple solution.
Yes. Kasi po nung nagsisimula si President Duterte noong 2016, sinabi niya na ang custom, palalagyan niya lahat ng CCTV, yung likuran ng mga windows. And then I remember there was this custom employee who complained. Blatantly and abashedly complained na sinabi, paano naman yung kikitain namin? He said that on television.
Dapat going with President Duterte, may sinumbungang corruption, tinanggal yung head, inabolish pa yung agency. I reported on Friday, tinanggal on Monday. Maybe I was not the only one who reported. Maybe I was the last one. Sinumbong ko kay the late Dante Jimenez. There was a presidential Anti-Corruption Commission.
Can we mention what project was that, sir?
Marami na akong libel cases.
Wag na muna.
For telling the truth, allegedly maligning the good names of the corrupt. That's I call it.
Malalakas ang loob talaga nila, sir. As you said, wala nang fear and no fear in doing corruption.
No fear sa mga corrupt. May fear sa mga victims of corruption and red tape. Kaya iba, namimiss daw si Duterte. At saka, mind you, I did several projects in Davao under Duterte, no corruption. Under Sara Duterte, no corruption. Under Baste Duterte, no corruption. And we compete, hindi negotiated.
Yeah, that's why I think they're being targeted hard right now by the corrupt people. Mga ka 3 p.m. sa ating pong pagbabalik, we will have more of Architect Jun Palafox sa pagbabalik ng 3 p.m. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, Pilipinas muna.
Hey, we're glad you found SMNI News. If you subscribe to TV programs that help build the nation, then we got you covered. Watch your favorite TV shows through GSAT TV Channel 40, Signal TV Channel 186, and if you are a Sky Cable subscriber, you can watch SMNI in National Capital Region, Sky Cable Channel 162, Cebu Sky Cable Channel 37, Davao City Sky Cable Channel 14, 43, and 46. General Santos City, Sky Cable Channel 37. Zamboanga, Sky Cable Channel 53. Bacolod, Sky Cable Channel 37. Iloilo, Sky Cable Channel 36. Dumaguete, Sky Cable Channel 37. Baguio, Sky Cable Channel 14. And Lawag, Sky Cable Channel 10. You may also watch SMNI on digital TV in Davao City and Manila, and also in TV Plus and GMA Afford a Box and over 500 cable TV affiliates nationwide. Watch SMNI on digital channels in Mega Manila, Channel 39 and 43. We are also on analog TV in Lawag, Channel 35, Isabela, Channel 37, Vegan, Channel 38, Rojas, Channel 39, Butuan, Channel 39, and Davao, Channel 43. If you're on your mobile phone, download SMNI app or visit smni.com to get the latest news, updates, and more. Also, browse through the day's top stories and receive notifications for breaking news. Watch us live on our official Facebook and Rumble accounts, and you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, so you don't miss out on our extra minute segments. Wherever you decide to watch, we're glad you choose SMNI News, the home of nation builders who bravely bring truth that matters.
Nagbabalik pong muli ang 3 p.m. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, Pilipinas muna with Architect Palafox. Sir, for your information lang, sir, no, our program is interactive. So we will be reading comments or questions coming from our viewers. One is coming from Karen Da Silva of Dapitan, Zamboanga del Norte. Hi, Architect Palafox and Sir Peter. Aside from urban planning, what are the professional development program for architects and engineers to increase global competency level? Thank you, SMNI and 3 p.m.
Yeah, I give seminar speaker as for professional development, and I'd like to integrate all the built environment professionals, like architects, engineers, planners, designers, and infrastructure together. Kasi what's happening in our country, parang even in government policy sometimes, vertical elevators without the floors.
Okay.
So sana we professionals will give the floors to connect the silos, the vertical elevators. Because planning is like setting the platform to put up the buildings, the transportation infrastructure. So we should work together. But even in our office, we have all those professions. Urban planners, architects, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, sanitary engineers and plumbing, fire protection engineers, interior designers, landscape and infrastructure, together under one roof. Unfortunately, even our professional regulations separate yan. When I had a license in Dubai, unlimited license. But here, you put up an architectural firm, it must be 70% architects. Planning firm, 70% planners. That's why we created two companies just to comply.
Instead of
Integrating
putting them all together.
our obsolete laws doesn't encourage firms to become big.
Uh-huh.
But when we're in Dubai, we're competing all over the world because we have unlimited license. We've designed buildings almost 1 kilometer high.
Uh-huh.
But here, it's hiwalay-hiwalay.
Yun nga sir eh.
We have so many.
Have you tried resolving that issue, sir?
That's the bureaucratic. Sometimes I don't have time anymore going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the foreign companies, architectural firms, they're not supposed to practice here, but they are here because they are bigger. They navigate the law. They get away from doing here. Although
You're saying they're not supposed to be here, so that's unconstitutional if we are going to...
it's against the Professional Regulatory Commission.
Against the professional regulation.
Yeah, and there's sometimes like I get more recognition abroad. They put my name.
Uh-huh.
Also here, maybe because my name is foreign sounding.
Yeah.
But some architects, they don't put their name anymore. Only the foreign consultant.
Okay.
Like in China, foreigners cannot just put their names. They should work with the local design institute.
Mm-hmm.
So there's technology transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I may be more fortunate because here, it's reverse discrimination. Imported is better, West is better, local is not good enough.
So we discriminate ourselves.
Yeah. I'm just so lucky siguro because I'm a member of the American Institute of Architects, American Planning Association. I'm a fellow of the Council for Tall Buildings Urban Habitat, U.S. Green Building Council. And maybe because my family name is foreign sounding.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, so when we work with foreign architects, both our names are together. But the lesser known architects, they don't put the name of the local architects.
Wow.
So it's parang reverse discrimination. That was
Reverse discrimination.
That was my conversation with the...
But haven't we been like that for the longest time, sir? We always like inviting people...
Like little brown brothers. Like
colonial mentality,
colonial
if
mentality.
we may say.
Yeah, we still accept me. Little brown brothers.
That hurts my ears, sir. Always.
The Chinese, the Singaporeans, the Japanese, they stand tall.
Exactly.
They get... As long as you have blonde hair and blue eyes, you're better than the brown Filipinos. Perception. I think maybe because of marketing professionals also.
Yeah.
And even some developers, they think if it's a foreign architect, it sells better. That's what they think.
Well, our company don't do that, sir. Only when necessary.
But there are companies like San Miguel Corporation, Ramon Ang.
Oh, yeah.
He prefers Filipinos. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are the master planners of the largest airport being built now.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ramon Ang, San Miguel Corporation. They're pro-Filipino. And San Miguel is, I think, 7% of our GDP. Maka-Filipino sila.
Well, that's good to know.
Walang colonial mentality.
Yeah. So, ito naman, sir, coming from Joseph Tiangco, Lahug, Cebu. Good evening, 3 p.m. and Architect Palafox. In relation to infrastructure in the country, what could be done in order to make our buildings be resilient to magnitude 7 earthquake? Should the epicenter be in Metro Manila? Praying God forbids. Thank you, 3 p.m. team. You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a good question because as I shared, 2004 pa, a JICA sponsored study, together with Philbox and Metro Manila MMDA, it was there. 50,000 people will get
Since 2004?
2004.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 30,000 from the earthquake, 20,000 for the ensuing fire after the earthquake. And thousands of kilometers of electric wires, telephone wires. So Metro Manila, if I remember right, will be divided into 4. North and south of Pasig River, east and west of the fault line. So we're builders connected, and for the first 72 hours, you should take care of yourself because responders will take care of their family first. Maybe they'll come to you 72 hours after. So you should have enough supply, like water, maybe just crackers, and flashlight, and a transistor to survive.
So the resilience right now sa mga structures natin, sir, na tinatanong niya, how can we make it? How can we ready it?
Yeah, like the projects we do, I can tell about it because we do a wind tunnel analysis, that strong wind, and earthquake, when we design buildings like the Super Typhoon Odette in Siargao, the building we designed, thanks to the client, the contractor, they followed our specs. It was not damaged. Also, one building we didn't see, it was not damaged.
So nasa developer din, sir.
Nasa design ng architects, structural engineers, mechanical, electrical. And our company, we designed at least 10% more than the building code, structural code. I tell our structural engineers to do 10% more because our building code is not it. I said that in the Senate. And then I was summoned in the Senate after the big earthquake in Syria and Turkey.
Shouldn't we, sir, require that from contractors to build it to become more resilient? Shouldn't it be parang requirement?
Yes, sir. In fact, in BAM Iran, again, we were funded by Buddhist organization, Chuchi. We designed 11 schools, and the Dharma Master of Chuchi instructed me design those schools intensity 10 for an earthquake that never happened.
Okay.
Then after Kathmandu Nepal, big earthquake, I don't know if they implemented. I was struck again by the Dharma Master, designed a hospital, university, and 3 schools to last 40 generations, 1,000 years. In our country, when I talk about 100 years, people are skeptical. 100 years is only 4 generations.
Yeah. Wow. This one's coming from Maria Juanita Sulat, Eastern Samar. We experienced a devastation made by Yolanda. This is going to be my next question. And other disasters are there. New policies or standards in selecting materials and how buildings must be constructed. I'm sorry, I have to read it again. Is that the whole question? Pardon me. She said, we experienced the devastation made by Yolanda and other disasters. Are there new policies, I missed that, are there new policies or standards in selecting materials and how buildings must be constructed? Salamat po, Architect Palafox and Sir Peter.
Thank
You're
you,
very
ma'am.
welcome.
I was in Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
With Pinglox.
And you were just awarded.
I was
the
awarded
Yolanda
last night.
Anniversary.
Yesterday. Yeah. I was there. Many of our recommendations were not followed. I'm sorry to say that. Because Ping Lacson was supposed to be rehab czar. He was demoted to be a coordinator. So
from czar, a coordinator.
So I worked more with Chuchi, Buddhist organization. I think they spent more than 3 billion pesos for the rehab. Until now, we designed and they're building permanent homes for the survivors. Then Yolanda, I criticized, and I was criticized for saying so, even in the Senate, that the bunkhouses were not fit for human habitation.
Yeah, we saw the designs.
They were substandard, flammable. So I said that. I was criticized for saying that in the media and in the Senate. So Chuchi, we did transient homes, at least 3 bedrooms. Now Chuchi is implementing our design for permanent homes for survivors, but only in Palo later. But I've been to Samar with Gina Lopez, ABS-CBN Foundation, Chuchi, Caritas Manila was also there, and I was there. I was even helping giving out food.
Okay.
And Chuchi, as I remember it right, smaller families, they were giving cash of 8,000 pesos. Medium-sized families, 12,000. Large families, 16,000 pesos to buy their own building materials. Not much was written about Chuchi, which I think until now they're still there. 10 years, they're still there.
So, how many percent is completed already after 10 years?
Yeah. Like I suggested that time, maybe others too. The then president said, no build zone, I think 40 meters from the shoreline because the tsunami was 8 meters high. The storm surge, 8 meters high. So I said, let's build new cities, new towns above 8 meters elevation. Then those along the shoreline, let them maintain their title to the land. Then give them new land in upper areas. So we were not followed. So those in the areas that got affected, they went back. They built again their homes. So another disaster.
In the same spot.
The same spot. And that was our lesson. We helped also Aceh, Indonesia during the Indian Ocean tsunami. And that's what they did in Indonesia. The devastated areas, the landowners, they keep the title. Then they were given new land on the higher ground. We proposed that.
But it was not implemented, sir?
With Ping Lacson, I told him to say that. It was not implemented.
It was not ever?
No, it wasn't there.
So,
That's when also I wrote that, and the building code was upgraded. Because I think Haiyan or Yolanda, I think the speed of the wind was higher than the building code.
okay.
300 kilometers per hour, if more, if you remember. The building code there was 220 kilometers per hour. So again, I appeared in the Senate, so they increased it now to more than 300 kilometers per hour. And I saw structures that collapsed. I saw the steel bars were substandard. Maybe the concrete mix was substandard also.
Yeah.
You're a contractor.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't follow the specs. And how come they got building permits? It's so hard to get building permits. Now, some contractors tell me, developers, excavation permit, lagay.
Yeah.
Building permit, lagay. Occupancy permit, lagay. Fire occupancy permit, you have to buy there specified.
Parang naging kultura na yung red tape, sir, no?
Red tape is also corruption.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I think also incompetence.
Incompetence and tolerating corruption, sir. And as you said earlier, no more fear in doing it.
Wala nang factor of fear, just like what we had in the previous president.
Yeah.
And I have to say that, somebody has to say it.
We have to say it,
Because,
sir, because this is our country.
That's my duty as Director for Construction Infrastructure. And
Yes.
contractors are telling me. And they are afraid to be identified. One contractor told me he had to fork out 28% just to get paid. And contractors, I think the profit margin contractor 10 to 15%.
10, 15, highest is 20%
But
income.
if 40% is corruption, where will they either overprice by 40%
Yeah.
or reduce your specifications, steel bars, by 40%?
Yeah.
Somebody has to say that. I have to wear the ugly face for saying that because people are afraid to speak up. They tell me, but please don't mention my name.
And you should. And you should. And thank you for mentioning it, sir.
Because I think only 1% Filipinos are corrupt. But the 99% don't care anymore, afraid.
Afraid.
We, whistleblowers, we are less than 0.001%, and we get libel cases for telling the truth, allegedly maligning the good names of the corrupt.
Well, this one's coming from Julie Odra, Antipolo City. Hi, Tita Julie. Traffic congestion is a problem in major cities in the country. Can we then say that the country failed in urban planning?
Sir, ma'am, or sir?
Ma'am.
Ma'am, it's more of lack of implementation. Many of these, I was team leader, senior planner for the World Bank funded Metro Plan Manila, Metro Manila Transport Land Use Development Project. Most of our recommendations were not followed or only now. Like the light rail transit, we proposed that 1975. We should have completed 8 lines by 1992. 1984, we have one of the best LRTs in Asia. Then we were left behind. And then there are 32 modes of urban transport. In our development planning, wala pang 10. 32 modes, including aerial cable cars, mga ganun. And then the first 3 modes of urban transport, walking, biking, then different modes of public transport.
Yeah.
You walk here, masasagasahan ka. Bicycle, babangay ka.
Yeah.
And our advocacy sa Palafox, our road corridors should be 1/3 for people, pedestrians and bicycles.
Yes.
1/3 for trees and landscaping, because it takes at least 10 trees to recover the oxygen of the carbon monoxide of the car.
Exactly. Yan po yung binanggit natin, sir, kanina nung introduce natin yung topic, ano. Tayo ng building, binibenta natin na ang ating mga bakanting lote. Tatayuan na naman ang building. Who needs another mall in Manila, sir? We need more greens, right, sir?
In the 70s, late 70s, if somebody has a copy of the Metro Manila zoning ordinance,
Okay.
there were many open spaces, the lungs of the city,
Yes.
are being approved by local governments to be sold. So if you compare Metro Manila human body, it needs a lung transfer kasi wala na open
Exactly,
spaces.
sir.
And then it needs a heart bypass because the major activity centers hindi mo na mapasok. So it's sick, but it can still be resolved. You know, about 10 years ago, I was a guest speaker in Mumbai. I was a guest speaker in Mumbai, and remaking of Mumbai, and we recommended to demolish 30,000 buildings that would collapse,
Okay.
and then rebuild them a la Singapore housing with more open spaces. I think the democracy of India is as bad as ours. It seems they have political will.
They have political will. Yeah. Ngayon, sir, nangyayari ito. You mentioned earlier when we were speaking earlier that you have Palafox integral ecology.
Yes, sir.
Can you expound on that a little bit, sir?
When we accept projects, these are our guidelines in accepting project. I think I mentioned part of it. People first for social equity. People means poverty alleviation and job creation.
Okay.
Then follows planet Earth or environment. Then profit, economic goals. Then culture, history, and heritage. And interfaith spirituality. And everything we do is pro Deo, patria, et terra. For God, country, and planet Earth. So we don't accept all.
So you live
yes, sir.
by that.
Like I had a contract for a $1 million fee for a proposed 6-star hotel. The proponents was able to get tree cutting permit in Subic.
Tree cutting permit.
And I was instructed to destroy 366 70-year-old trees. I returned the $1 million contract. I got sued 50 million pesos.
Did they win?
No, it was dismissed.
It was this.
Only when CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, international organization came to the Philippines to meet the crazy architect who would give up $1 million to save the trees. Because the trees were 70-year-old trees, 366 of them. And then...
were they cut, sir?
No,
those trees?
we saved them. And then, if you are strong in your faith, you read the Bible.
Yes.
366 times, 366 trees, it says, do not be afraid. Do not worry. Do not be anxious. That gave me the courage.
Wow.
And I told my colleagues and staffers at Palafox, our professions of architecture, planning, engineering are very noble professions.
It is.
If we take the $1 million and we don't like the project, it's no longer the professional practice of our professions, but prostitution of our professions.
Exactly. Sir, ngayon, let's talk about our future. What is in store for us, the country, the Philippines right now, as you see it, because you are very involved, sir, in urban planning, and you are very connected with our government. Where do you see us in the next decades, sir?
Yes, sir.
Because I have here a copy of your...
Vision 2050. By 2050, the Philippines can be and should be in the top 20 economies of the world. Number 16.
Should be.
Yeah, it's not just coming from me, from Goldman Sachs and HSBC forecast. Number 16.
This was actually studied.
Yeah, forecast.
Okay.
Not just from me. Even people like Dr. Bernie Villegas, he talks about it. But we really have, in all the blessings of our country, we have to address the 6 challenges that I mentioned. Yeah. And I think we can do it together. It should not just be good leadership, but also be good citizenship. And fighting corruption is the corporal works of mercy, because the worst sufferers of corruption are the poorest of the poor.
Exactly.
So if you fight corruption,
you're saving them.
You're helping the poor.
Yeah.
And corruption comes from 2 Latin words: cor, the heart; rapture, to break the heart. or corruptore breaking down together. So we are a broken-hearted country breaking down together as a nation. So we should all fight corruption. You are in state of grace, you can get blessings for doing that, aside from helping the poor.
Sir, how do you see this being implemented right now, that we are going to become the 16th top economy in the world by 2050?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm still alive by this time, and I want to see it in my lifetime, that we are actually getting there.
First, sir, the Philippine Development Plan start today, not tomorrow. Then forecasted that before 2028, we should be upper middle income country before 2028. 2030, we hope and pray we have addressed our challenges, corruption, criminality, the 6 challenges, and the 17 sustainable development goals of the United Nations. 2040, that was actually from NEDA Secretary R.C. Balakaasan. He said that in 2015, under Pinoy, with Ambition 2040. And I spoke to him recently and he said, achievable, 2040, we can be a first world country. Then, Vision 2050, first world economy. And many of the planning we're doing for different LGUs from Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, Pampanga, Bulacan, Zamboanga, Davao, we're trying to bring these LGUs with our plannings to be first world cities by 2040, first world economies by 2050. So we have what we call at Palafox, postcards from the future. We take pictures of the uglification of our cities. When you create architectural perspectives, like postcards, how they should look like. So it's influencing visually, with visually powerful images, compelling narrative, with data analytics. We're also doing now AI, artificial intelligence. But before artificial intelligence, we must first have human intelligence enhanced by artificial intelligence. It cannot just be artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Well, but sir, at the rate we're going right now, I mean right now, as we speak, at the rate we're going, ma-achieve ba natin to, itong 2050, at the rate we're going right now?
So I encourage all the taxpayers that you see corruption, red tape, go to the media.
We have social media. You can always take photographs of corrupt local government employees.
In fact, when we were yung Bantay Usok, EDSA, the polluting buses, I think there was a number where you text. So if there are maybe 10
President
reports.
Duterte created 8888 where you can call and report corruption. I don't know if it is still...
And there was this kay Dante Jimenez, presidential anti-corruption and criminality. And they were able to help me remove a government official and abolish the agency.
But this is what's so sad about what's happening with our mainstream media, sir. Every time that happens, na naka-abolish ng ahensya, nakapagpatanggal ng mga corrupt na opisyales, hindi nare-report masyado eh.
Kasi,
they're not giving focus to it.
Kasi sir, like me, I already earned 111 million pesos in libel cases for reporting corruption.
But that's feather under your hat, sir.
Sabi nga sa akin, when may homecoming kami sa Harvard, sabi nila, what I'm doing there for, I should have been knighted by now. Instead of being harassed by libel cases for telling the truth.
Yeah. Do you have you ever had a second mind telling the truth because you are being harassed?
Because what we learned in the seminary, I was trained by German mentors, American mentors, SBD Christ Aging Seminary. If you see something wrong and you do nothing, it's like a sin of omission.
Ayan. Yan ang sinasabi natin mga ka-3PM, nabibiktima tayo ng sarili nating pananahimik.
Yeah.
Right, sir? Lagi tayong, we do not like corruption. We are always being victimized by all these abhorring practices.
Ang daming nagsishare sa akin. And I asked them, can you testify? Architect, hindi pwede kasi yung business ko, natatakot ako, kamag-anak ng mami ko yan, or whatever. Ganun ang rason. Parang kulang sa love of country.
Yes.
And if you only value for information also.
Yeah.
Value formation.
One thing that the former president taught us, at least me, what I learned from him, if you stand by your truth, by the truth, and be highly patriotic, love your country, as you have been saying, sir, parang kulang tayo sa pagmamahal sa bansa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Scandinavian countries, chismis pa lang na may corruption, imbestiga ka agad.
Yes.
Dito, pag whistleblower ka, you have to prove it.
Yeah, ikaw ang titirahin.
Oh, whistleblowers, we are not detectives. We don't have the resources. Wala. Tapos may mga false witnesses pa na binabayaran.
Yeah.
Oh. In fact, may nagpapatanggal ng lisensya ko to practice architecture and planning. Eh. May mga false accusation and I think bayaran na false witnesses.
Yeah, yeah. And that is where we are right now, sir. Philippines infrastructure.
Yes.
And mga ka-3PM, let's help one another. Diba, sir? Sir, we have reached our time, sir. And thank you very much for being here. But before I let you go, please, parting words for tonight for our viewers.
Yeah. Thank you for your support. You know, if I may share, I've been to more than 72 countries and 7 territories, done projects in 40 countries, and speaking engagement in 20 countries. I believe our country is still the best, the highest development potential. Come to think of it, why did Asian Development Bank located here? All Asian countries voted that Manila or the Philippines has the highest development potential as a financial center for Asia, not Singapore, not Hong Kong. Manila. And as I mentioned earlier, if you do a SWOT analysis of our country, its strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, mahaba yung very long list of strength and opportunities. Less on weaknesses and challenges or threats. Nandyan yan. And our country is so blessed. And we really have, and do not be afraid sumbong ng corruption.
Yeah.
Because if you're afraid, you are weak in your faith. There's the chief architect up there, the chief engineer up there, the chief planner there. They will protect us.
Yes.
They will protect you. So do not be afraid. Because, in fact, if I may share an anecdote, if I may be allowed.
Please.
I got this from one of my clients in the Middle East. And he said, some nations complain to Allah or complain to God. Why God blessed the Philippines with more beautiful islands and more beautiful women and people? And God supposed to have said, stop complaining. I also gave them the worst politicians. So with my sincere apologies to our
Don't
friend.
apologize, sir.
So that did not come from me, from a client in the Middle East.
Came from a client.
Maybe it came from Filipinos in the Middle East also. Yeah.
Sir, hindi ko na po dudugtungan yan. Napakaganda na po ng binigay ninyong huling mensahe para sa ating mga ka-3PM. And I wish you good health, better health, that you look ravishing for a 73-year-old man, sir. And I thank God for that. I hope He gives you longer years for us to, you know, para may katulong kami, sir, sa paglaban sa mga ganitong
Let's have
problema ng
together.
ating bansa. But before I go, sir, allow me, I would just like to thank my sponsor, Prince Gerald, for the shirt that I'm wearing here in the program. That's their number. Look for Ria for all your printing needs or your Christmas giveaways. Magaling po sila mag-print. Cheers, Ria. Thank you. And I would also like to thank our bar host for tonight, Blushmith Catering and Events. To avail of their services, please get in touch with Star Dakanay. Samantala po, bago tayo magtapos, sir, ang atin lang pong Christmas countdown, ilang araw na lang ba tayo before Christmas? 46 days, sir. Merry Christmas to you, sir,
Yeah.
and to your
Happy
family.
Christmas. Thank you.
I wish you the best for Christmas and the coming year. Thank you very much, sir. At yan po ang ating naging talakayan ngayong gabi, mga ka-3PM. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay sa ating programa. Samahan niyo po kami tuwing Lunes, Miyerkules at Huwebes, alas 9 hanggang alas 10 ng gabi. At syempre, Pastor, maraming salamat po sa pagkakataong ito na ibinigay ninyo sa 3PM Pilipinas Muna upang maging bahagi ng SMNI para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal. At mga ka-3PM, hindi po ako magsasawang sabihin ito ulit-ulitin sa atin. Lagi nating tatandaan na iisa lang ang ating bayan na dapat nating pangalagaan. Kaya't bago ang ano paman, bago ang sarili pagkatapos sa Panginoon, Pilipinas muna. Magandang gabi po at maraming salamat. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Subscribe